Okay, we are live and we're about 7.5 minutes early, so we're a little bit early, a little bit of a pregame show. This show was scheduled for 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, these United States of America. And so we are a couple minutes early, and we're going to talk again about the vintage Rolex brochure that I stumbled upon when I was cleaning the place. And we're going to go through it page by page and see if we can pick out the models that were made in the year 2000 that are absolute stunners, a piece that somebody might want to buy. And in some ways, some of the watches that were made in the year 2000, I think we can make a legit argument are even nicer than the watches that are made today in some cases. So we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Steve's upcoming show. By the way, here's another small Rolex brochure that I stumbled across. This is a Datejust brochure, just about the Datejust model. So we might show some pictures from that also in the show. We didn't do that in part one. So if you're tuning in now to this show and you missed part one, you might want to check that out. That was a couple days ago. Boozer's in the house. Hello, Craig. It looks like we're going to have some thunder and lightning here. Jens is in the house, and I am wearing my Bitcoin ring. I'm wearing it on the pinky finger. And, oh, I want to mention something about that while people are coming in. Let me just cut back here, and I'll be right back. I got to get the photo up. There's something I noticed about wearing the pinky ring, and it's a good idea to put it on the pinky, the Bitcoin ring on the pinky. And if I cut to this, you can see in this photo, it's kind of pretty obvious. The gap on the finger between the pinky and the ring finger is elongated and flat. That gap is kind of flat. And then if you look at the gap between the ring finger and the middle finger, it's kind of a U-shaped, and it is not as wide. And so what happens when you wear the ring on your pinky, when you spread your fingers apart, that where the skin gets tight in between the fingers, the ring can kind of push on it and kind of irritate a little bit, but it doesn't do it as much if you're wearing it on the pinky. So I've noticed that wearing the finger on the pinky is actually more comfortable than wearing it on the ring finger. I'd have never thought that. Now, when you put your hand down on the desk, it does tap the desk. But that's not a big deal. So I think the benefits of wearing a signet type ring on the pinky finger outweigh any disadvantages. So just wanted to bring that to light because we are thinking about having a custom made signet ring, if you will. And I'm leaning now towards having the Bitcoin logo on it and having it be a numbered ring, because a lot of the folks that are subscribers to this channel are also Bitcoiners. And if they aren't, they should be. And I just think it would have more versatility to have a ring that is a combination Bitcoin ring and insider ring, if you will, only available through Little Treasury. I just think that would be kind of cool because I really like this ring. Let me give you a close-up of this ring. I really like this ring. I don't think we'd have the design on the sides and all. We'd have a simpler design on the sides, but have like a signet ring has the whatever you have for your coat of arms or whatever on the top. I think that's what we would do, is just have the Bitcoin part on the top. But I think it would be really cool. So we're looking into that. We're looking into that, folks. Kyle's in the house. Show a few of these. Few of these greetings. Craig, get a new Rolex president, would it be more of a piece of art rather than an actual timekeeping device? Um, so here's the thing, and I thought about this a lot with people collecting a lot of watches and kind of thinking of them as pieces of art and things that they keep in their box with a whole bunch of watches, box watches I call them, and they treat them as art pieces and investment pieces and all of this. I mean, that's a whole thing. I mean, if that floats your boat. But for me, I buy watches to actually wear. I see them as a consumable. I see them as something I actually wear and use. And when I sell them, if I get my money out of them, fine, that's good, but I don't count on it. I count on when I buy a watch, it's an expenditure, not an investment, not particularly an asset. It's a tool. It's a piece of my wardrobe, just like my shirts, my top coats, my suits, anything that I wear. And I'm very picky about what I will buy and what I will wear. And I research it sometimes to the nth degree. I mean, just overdo it. I mean, you guys know when I was talking about getting a high-end dress watch, at least high-end to me, um, I hemmed and hawed and thought about it for months and months, and then finally told Steve that I was interested in the SBGY 002, that stunner right there, and then it took months and months to get it. So it was by no means a snap decision, and the decision to wear a signet type ring and ultimately get one in gold. Now I have this one to wear with the sport watch. And now I need a gold one. And by the way, I'm mixing and matching today. I've got the gold faux pay on. I figured I'd throw the faux pay on just for fun. I normally don't wear it when I'm wearing the titanium watch. I normally wear it with the gold stunner. But the the thought process is, if I'm going to wear a ring, I want it to be really something special and really nice and classy, and so measure 7 times, cut once. So hopefully Steve will come up with a design, something that is really intriguing and that I can't resist. That's his job as a jeweler, by the way. That's his job. BTC almost back to 46K. Yeah, BTC has been on a little bit of a pump. I think the fact that the government has been having a lot of discussions about it, the United States government, and the consensus seems to be that they can't shut it down, but now they're going to just try to regulate it. So a lot of people are saying, well, if they can't shut it down, maybe I'll get me some. And so, yeah, it had a little bit of a pump, a pumpity pump. Of course, those of us that are long-term thinkers could care less about this short-term price action. We're in it for the long haul. And Boozer says hi to him. Okay. And let's see here. We got, hey, Craig, have you checked out Crador? A lot of them are not that attractive to me. I mean, some of them are nice looking watches, but I'll tell you, I didn't see any of them that trump the looks of that 002. I mean, that 002 is just absolutely stunning on wrist. The shape of the case, the size of it for me, for my size wrist, which is 7¼ inches to 7½, depending on the time of the year. It just checks all the boxes. And so for me, that was the way to go. And of course I went that way. So yeah. All right. So getting back to the brochure, the topic of the day, here we go. So you've got these beautiful timepieces from the year 2000. And the other day, Brianna went through the history. Oh, switch to this camera. Brianna went through the history of these watches. Okay. And of course, you notice that on the cover, they've got a date. Inside, they've got a lady, we used to call it a lady date, but I guess that's a date just. Anyway, the lady's watch with a president bracelet, and of course, the date. And so you see what Rolex says is the best way to go, right? They don't have a Daytona here. All right. No Daytona here. No Daytona here. Okay. So that's the deal with all that. That's what's so beautiful about BTC, the decentralization. Governments will never be able to control it like they can fiat money. Yeah, that seems to be the case. So if only I had the power of Elon Musk to temporarily devalue BTC so that you could buy the dip. Yeah. How many bought the dip? How many folks bought the dip? Did you buy the dip? So moving on in the brochure, again, this is from the year 2000. Here's the first watches that they show in the brochure. And I'm going to tell you on this page, which watch would I pick on this page? Well, yeah, I have to go with the all gold blue sub. Whoops, let's see if I can get that in focus. Now this is going to be sacrilege, but I would have preferred that it have the Jubilee bracelet. Can you imagine a sub on a Jubilee bracelet? But I love the Jubilee. The other watch I like on this page is I do like this turnograph. Let's see. This is an oyster perpetual date just. Okay, so that's a 36 mil. I just want to make sure. So I do like this watch also. Okay, so of the watches on that page, I like those watches. And somebody's going to say, well, how come you didn't pick a sub no date or a sub with the date? Well, yeah, I would go for a sub no date. I think they might be a hair thinner than the sub date, and I don't need the date on my watch anymore. But yeah, of all the watches on here, I would go with the Gold Stunner, of course. All right, so let's turn the page. Here's the next page. Okay. Of all the watches on this page, what would I go for? What would I go for? I guess I have to go for the Coke. Even though it's got the oyster bracelet, I prefer the Jubilee. But I guess I would go for that. I am not a fan of a steel and gold watch. I try to avoid them if I can, and that's why I'm not showing any. Now, I like the black, but again, if it had the Jubilee bracelet, I would take that over the Coke. Which I actually did back in the day. I actually bought a black with the Jubilee back in the day, and I loved it. I loved that watch. All right, next page. Now here is, if somebody wanted a starter watch, an affordable watch, here's an Air King that is very nice. So of all the watches on this page, it would have to be that one. Now for a lady, these two Gold Stunners over here. Either one of those, although the one's a 34 mil, I think some ladies would want to wear that these days. So of all the ones on this page, those are the ones I would pick. Let's go to the next page. Okay, the plot is thickening. I have to say, I don't think there's any on these pages that I would get. Again, to save a little bit of money, I kind of like this oyster perpetual date down in the corner. But I probably wouldn't get it, but and I wouldn't get these Datejusts with the smooth bezels on them. I just don't like a Datejust with a smooth bezel. I would rather have a fluted bezel. All these on here Most of them have the smooth bezel. So I would pass on those. Now, the next page, we're getting to a bunch of watches with fluted bezels. So, yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So the watch in the corner, down in the corner. And that has the steel bezel. I would definitely go for that. That's the fluted steel bezel, not the gold one. And so I'd go for that. I wouldn't go for the watch next to it because I'm not a fan of the Roman numerals, and the rest are steel and gold or quartz. I wouldn't go for any of those. Next page. Okay. We're into some heavy hitters here. I would love a Datejust like this with a white dial, but I would rather have hash marks than the numbers. I think the numbers make it look funky and make it look kind of cheaper. I'd rather have just regular hash marks. But yeah, that would be an interesting piece. Other than that, I would pretty much pass on the rest of these on this page. I should keep switching back. I'd kind of pass on the rest of them. And I have pictures. I think I have a link in the description to the pictures of each of these pages, so you can look if you want to. Now, again, for a lady that wants to kind of sport around and wants a little bigger watch to make a statement, this 35 mil Yachtmaster would absolutely be that piece. Other than that, I would pass on the rest of these. And here's the next page. Let's see here. For the lady who has everything, I actually like all four of these on this left page. I actually like all of these watches. All four of these over here. Yeah, I like them all. The others on the other page, no, not so much. Okay, and then we're down to Cellini, so we'll pass on the Cellinis. Like we don't pass on Cellinis, we don't really go for Cellinis, and we don't go for Tudor. We don't go for Tudor either. Kyle says, I like the blue dial sub. I wish it was offered in stainless steel as well with no date. Of course, there you go. BTC versus 401k. Well, if you buy GBTC, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust in your 401k, then you can benefit from Bitcoin if it goes up. I have a lot of GBTC in my Roth IRA, and it has performed really well. I love the Air King. You can get them in 18 karat with leather strap for 3 to 4K right now. They're a bargain. Yes, 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 yes. I love my Air King, says Kyle. Hello, all. Ultraman Red. Oh, by the way, that Air King, it is 18 karat gold, not 14. I thought some of them were 14. That's really good price, 3 to 4K for 18 karat. Tapestry dial, yes. And some folks saying hello back and forth. Craig, you ever read any Alan Flusser's books? No, I don't think I have. I don't read as many books anymore as I used to when I was younger because my eyes aren't that great, and I've got reading glasses and all. But if I read for too long, I get a headache. It's just not fun when your eyes are marginal. So I listen to a lot of podcasts, and also I can do that while I'm walking. I can be productive that way. And so I've added a few more I've added a few more video clips to make. So if somebody like starts talking too much about a Tudor, we can play this one.
So I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
So anytime they want to show us a Tudor, bring Tudor into the discussion, we can do that. And if somebody's buying too many watches, if they're hoarding too many steel Rolexes, right? And they're potentially going to get burned later, we can play this one.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
Greed is good, right?
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
That's what they think. They think greed's good. They're buying them all up. And we know what happened to him at the end of the movie. But anyway, what happened is,
hey, we've got a problem here.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
and that could apply to people that buy a Tudor. They've got a problem, right? And then if we ever want to talk about the efficiencies of government, we can play this one.
For whatever reason, the Senate doesn't seem to want to behave reasonably or rationally. And I think the consequences are going to be long-standing of this foolish legislation.
You could probably call almost any of their legislation that, right? So there you go. And here's the place where Brianna wants to shop.
Didn't I tell you this was a lovely place?
Tiffany's, of course. Actually, she was referring to Little Treasury Jewelers. See, if you notice that, if you look, that was actually filmed at Little Treasury. Watch closely.
Didn't I tell you this was a lovely place?
There you go. Has to be. Has to be. So yeah, and I got one for Bree's Taste in Jewelry.
But I prefer a man who lives and gives expensive jewels.
So what do you think? Do you guys give expensive jewels? Do you do that? Let's see, Boozer. Speak of the devil, Craig. Would you disown Bree if you were to find her investing in altcoins? No, I mean she can. Hey, people have to get wrecked. People have to get wrecked before they learn. You know, a lot of people play around with altcoins and things, and they do it until they get wrecked, and then they come back to Bitcoin. You know, they run off and try the wild things, and then most of them come back. So yeah, we'd welcome her back. But she's a lot sharper than that. I don't think she's going to do that. LOL, Network is an awesome movie. Kind of ironic you showed a Wall Street Creep because Alan Flusser designed those clothes for that movie. Oh, okay, cool. Good to know. Tudor is desperate if they need Lady Gaga and David Beckham to promote brand legitimacy. Good point. I just don't see a reason to buy them. I mean, some guy posted in one of the forums that he bought that he wants to buy one as his first watch. He hasn't bought it yet. He wants to buy a Tudor as his first watch, and he put a photo of one in there. And I'm thinking, you know, if you're buying a Tudor because you can't afford a Rolex, you probably can't afford a Tudor, right? So you should probably focus on your career and your income stream so that you can get to the point where you can afford a real luxury watch and skip the lower tier items. Skip them for now and just wait and get the right thing. See, a lot of these people buy 6 or 8 or 10 marginal watches and waste all their money on those when they could have been setting money aside and or focusing on increasing their income streams so that they can afford a real watch. And I always recommend spend about 1 week's salary or earnings, however you earn your money, 1 week's earnings on a luxury item. That would include a watch, a top coat, a suit, any luxury item like that, a pair of shoes. Limit it to 1 week's salary, and you don't do much damage to yourself financially. Maybe on a watch these days, maybe stretch it to 2 weeks max. And that way you're not going to do a lot of harm to yourself financially. And you can enjoy the watch. You're not worried about something happening to it and it wrecking you, like if you tied up all your money in your watch, right? And you're going to be really worried about something happening to it. Let's see. Jason's in the house and he says, good afternoon. And Craig, what articles of clothing are acceptable to wear made in China? Socks? I mean, I guess, some things it's hard to avoid, right? But you just got to do your best. You got to do your best to search out the quality items, because if you always buy quality items, then you'll find out later on you're always surrounded by quality items. If you buy junk, then you're surrounded by junk. So it just depends on what you like. I am cursed in that I don't like chintzy, low quality stuff. It just irritates me. And so I seek out the higher quality items, and sometimes I will do without, as opposed to buy something that is not appropriate. How many weeks salary for a car? That's a good question. What I used to do when I was in the process of building wealth, when I was a young man and I was building up my reserves and my investments and all of that, is I was fortunate enough that I was in the business. And so I most of the time drove demonstrators that were provided by the car dealership. And then when I had my own appraisal business, I was buying and selling cars the whole time, and I was actually making profit on the cars. So the cars weren't an expense. They were actually something that I was making money with, because I was in a position to do that. I was in a unique position to come across good buys and then hold them until I could get top dollar for them. So, but if you don't have access to that kind of a situation, then I would only say spend as little as possible on the car. Buy a base model Toyota Corolla, something like that, and just run it forever, and just take real good care of it and run it forever, and keep your per mile cost as low as possible on a vehicle, because it's the per mile cost that matters. It's in other words, the total cost of everything and what it costs you. Divide that out by how many miles you drive, and that way you kind of know your cost structure. Because if you buy something that's a high maintenance piece of junk and you end up spending a lot of money on maintenance, then your per mile cost could be very high, even if you bought a relatively cheap car, right? Some worn out used car, for example. So I would probably just buy a brand new base model Toyota Corolla and then run it forever. That's probably what I would do. Of course, I bought my most recent car is a Toyota Prius that I bought new, 2004, and I'm still running it. It's got about 130,000 miles on it, and it's like new. And so I've gotten a lot of years and a lot of use out of that car, and I'll continue to get a lot more use out of it. It's a depreciating item, right? So you don't want to tie up any more money in it than you have to, because it's basically you're losing money on it. So that's the way I think about cars. Dave Ramsey says the average car payment is $450 a month with people stretching financing out to 60 to 72 months, throwing money out the window on interest. Yeah. Oh yeah, I would definitely not finance. I don't finance anything. I don't finance my houses. I don't finance anything. I don't like to borrow money from anybody. So I would pay cash. When I bought my house down in Florida and I told him I was paying cash, the guy was like shocked. Oh, well, hey, I can get you a low interest rate and all this stuff. And no, don't bother with all that. Makes things cleaner, makes it a cleaner deal, makes it an easier settlement. All those kinds of things are easier. So yeah. Let me think what else. What else did I want to bring up? There was something else I wanted to bring up. We talked about the reason to wear the ring on the pinky finger. Talked about that. That's that gap between the pinky and the ring finger. See how it's flatter? That area between the skin there, it's flatter. And then the gap between the ring finger and the middle finger is more of a U-shaped. And so it's more comfortable actually to have the ring on the pinky, believe it or not. It's hard to believe, but that is the case as far as I can tell. Let's see. Craig, would you consider working at a little treasury for discounts on GS and faux pay? I'm too old for that, and it's about an hour and a half drive from here. So no, and I've got plenty of things I'm doing already. But if I didn't have any other good stream of income, I would love to work there. If I was a young man trying to build a stream of income and I thought I was a good salesperson, I would definitely talk to Steve because I think he pays his people well. And I think they do get discounts on things. But as far as discounts on a GS and a faux pay, I already have my faux pay. I have a faux pay stunner. I have 2 GSs, this one on wrist, the 231 stunner. And then, of course, I've got the 002 on the bench. So I'm good. I don't need any more Grand Seikos. I pretty much have the Seikos for life. Those are going to last my lifetime easily. Probably with no servicing whatsoever because the spring drive is extremely robust. And so I can see a situation where neither one of these watches that I own will need any servicing of any kind for the next 50 years. I think that is highly likely. Highly likely. And 50 years from now, I probably won't be wearing a watch. We'll see. We'll see. Is Steve opening up a new location in Florida? He should. Corey's in the house. I thought I had blocked him, but anyway, I've owned many, many Rolex brochures in my over 40 years experience. Good to read over it in the toilet. Back in the day, we didn't have smartphones to waste our time with. Yeah. All right. Yes, that is true. We didn't have smartphones. We didn't even have computers back in the day. If you go back far enough, we didn't even have computers. Can you imagine? Can you imagine when I started selling cars, it was very rare for any individual to have a computer. My dad bought his computer in the mid 70s, maybe around 1973 or so. I think he got his first computer. And they were expensive, and I think he made it himself. I think it was a kit. He put it together. But it was uncommon for households to have a computer in the 70s, in the 1970s. It wasn't until the 1980s, early 80s, that they started becoming more prevalent. And then, of course, by the mid 80s, they were, pretty prevalent. So, yeah, that's how that whole thing went down. And then, of course, the internet didn't come around really to most people until the early 90s, let's say 94, 93, 95, 96. It started becoming a little more common that people would have internet access. So that's how that whole thing kind of rolled out. Let's see. Steve should open Sarasota Little Treasury. Yes, that would be super cool. How much was your dad's 1973 computer? I think it was around $5,000, which was a lot of money then. It was expensive. And he justified it because they were going to use it in their real estate business. And they actually did. They actually did end up using it in the real estate business, keeping their client list and doing, and he had a, one of those dot matrix printers to print out mailing labels and all that. And so they were early as far as computerizing their real estate business. Will you be buried or cremated in the 002? No, I think I will want the 002 to go to somebody to live on. I think hopefully there'll be somebody that is worthwhile, maybe somebody from the Wrench Gang who will be worthy of the 002, and maybe I'll leave it to them in my final will and testament. Breaking news, my YouTube videos got taken down. Uh-oh. Wait. All of them? All of them? Let me check. Let me check. That's terrible if that's true. Yeah, it says this channel doesn't have any content. Did you, Bree, did you get any kind of a notice? Did they contact you in any way? Is this something that you can appeal? Because I don't think they should have taken down your videos. That's terrible. That's terrible. We'll have to talk about this. Call me after the show. I remember the day Bill Connington III introduced porn to me back in the early internet days, changed the world. Oh, geez. Grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, didn't have internet until 1998 and a cell phone until 2003. Totally grateful for it because I can go without tech if I yeah. Yeah. Craig, please freeze yourself with cryogenics. You can resurface at the same time as Michael Jackson and Walt Disney. Well, there we go. Wait, Brie, really? Yeah, I just went to her channel and they're not there. So we've got to figure out how to resolve that. And Kyle says he loved many of them. I can't see my videos anymore. Did you get no notice at all? Okay, it says. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to have to figure out. Contact them on Twitter. Bree, send a message to them and on Twitter and ask why your channel, why your videos have been taken down, because the channel is still there, but the videos are gone. So message them. Actually, let's talk about this after the show. Call me and we'll talk about it. But I'll tell you what message you're going to need to send to them on Twitter. They've got a YouTube account on there for things like this. And also ask your Twitter followers to also message them and ask for your channel to be restored. If they hear from a number of people, maybe they will bring it back. This has happened before, so hopefully we'll get this resolved. Let's see, and no notice at all. YouTube is purging account without notice as of late. Yeah, that is terrible. This is terrible, terrible news. That's been happening lately with YouTube channels. Jody from Just One Watch had his channel canceled. He appealed and got it back. Tim, can you reach out and see if you can find out how he did that? If you know him, what he did to get his back, that would be useful information. And Bree, in the meantime, Google it and see what steps you need to take to get your channel back. See if there's an article about it, a recent one. Let's get on this. Sup, everyone. Did I miss anything? Yes, Triforce Rich. Bree's YouTube videos have been taken down. So, yeah, that's terrible. Terrible news here on the channel. Breaking news, terrible news on the channel. I'm telling you, that's terrible news.
So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
That's right.
Hey, we've got a problem here.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, we have a problem. It is apparent. We have a problem. Let's see. And Triforce Rich says, I just checked Bree's channel and all her vids are up on my phone. And everything looks good on my end. The channel is fine. Okay, let me refresh here. Yeah, it's not, there's no videos showing here on my end. I'm refreshing, and here I'll show you what I'm seeing. Share screen, screen 2. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing on my end. I'm seeing this channel doesn't have any content. This channel doesn't have any content. And then when I click on videos, it goes to a blank screen. So that's what's happening here live at this time. We go back here and click on playlists. Channel has no playlists. So yeah, I'm getting a whole lot of nothing. A whole lot of nothing going on. Let's see. Craig, stop the show and bring Bree to your house to fix this. We're going to fix it. Yes, we are. I'm watching her videos right now, Catherine Diaz. Oh, cool. That's a cool one. For some reason, I can't see them on my phone or my computer. Yeah, and I'm not seeing them here. This might be a blackout just for certain areas. Would they be blacking out the East Coast and not the West Coast? Bree, try logging out of your account and then searching for yourself. Well, see, I'm logged out. I'm not logged in to her account, and I can't see it. Seems like it's a geographic thing. Okay. Did Bree have any wardrobe malfunctions? Not quite. Not quite. Maybe Craig and Bree got shadow banned off her account. Okay. That's strange. I'm refreshing and checking Firefox and Chrome. Both are working fine. It's good that it's working somewhere. Let's see if Lance can get to her. Lance, can you bring up Bree Fit Dance, her YouTube channel, Bree Fit Dance, and see if the videos are there for you? See if they'll play for you, because they won't for me and they won't for Bree. We're seeing nothing. And so, yeah, let me know, Lance, what you can see on your end. If you can see here, here's what I'm seeing. Okay, I'm seeing this channel has no playlists. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing here. Maybe I was too sexy. Yeah, I mean, you know, maybe too beautiful. Maybe you were too beautiful for YouTube on the East Coast. Maybe they figured you were all right for the West Coast, but too beautiful for the East Coast. Maybe you were making like less attractive females feel insecure. Triforce Rich is crying. It lets me play the videos, Lance says. Well, this is actually good that some people can still see them, because this is telling me they have more of a technical issue here local in this, maybe in the mid-Atlantic region here or something. It's telling me this might be a more localized thing. So that's actually good news. That's better than it being down everywhere. Then we would know they definitively took her content down. So it looks like it's some kind of a localized situation here. I checked out the channel and it's working here in Houston. Houston, we don't have a problem. Houston checking in. That's great. Oh man, that's freaking great. Okay, maybe the corrupt world government saw Bree was making huge changes in the world of BTC promotion, and they had her account killed. Hey, it's possible. Anything's possible. She spoke out against fiat currency. Yeah, I'm surprised this channel hasn't been taken down, to tell you the truth. When I go to her actual channel page, the videos do not appear though. Oh, okay. Okay. So what happens, you guys, if you go to youtube.com/brieffitdance? If you go to youtube.com/brieffitdance, you other guys, what do you guys see? Okay. She should cut her hair and dye it blue and grow out her armpit hair. Yeah, there you go. BTC will probably take a large dip now that Bree is being removed. Well, I mean, it's anti-fragile. BTC is anti-fragile, so I think it will even survive that. That's how amazing it is. And they haven't taken her off Twitter, and that's where she gets most of her traction with Bitcoin, is on Twitter. So knock on wood, she's still on Twitter. Wow, this is a development here on the channel. This is a development here on the channel. I'm going to try to find an actual video. I'm going to try to find an actual video and see if it'll play. Okay. See, I searched BrieFit Dance, and it's interesting what this shows here is it says, this is for the search. It says BrieFit Dance, 1.15K subscribers, 150 videos. So it's showing that she has 150 videos. Then I've got BrieFit Dance, new clothes in 4K. This is her most recent video. If I click on this, it'll play. Okay, so it absolutely plays. So yeah, if I search for BrieFit Dance, the video will play. But if I go to her channel, let's go here in real time. If I go to her channel, see if I click here and go to her channel, it says channel does not have any content. So this is something. This is something. Are the rest of you guys seeing that same thing? Her videos are playing. Just check. Yeah, not that her videos are playing. Go to her channel page and see if they're displaying there. Okay, see if they're displaying there, because we just confirmed I can play her video also if I search and go to her video, but they're not displaying on her channel. Let's see. So all normal here. Okay. So no problem watching Bree's channel from Melbourne, Australia. Okay, but not watching it. Go to her page and see what you see on her actual YouTube channel page. Check her Twitter and see if her YouTube links work. Okay, well, we know the channel. We know you can play the videos. We've just confirmed that. Okay. What are the chances that Audrey, in a rage of jealousy, joined the New World Order to take down Bree? Maybe this is the work of the Frederick News Post. It could be the work of the Frederick News Post, absolutely, but no, Audrey wouldn't do anything like that. Audrey's too nice a person. She's a nice person. Let's see here. Caljet, everything on the channel is good from what I can tell. Okay, all is there. Interesting. This is a really intriguing scenario that we have going on here. All videos are displayed on our page from my end. Okay. Houston checking in. So I don't know. Maybe this problem will take care of itself with a little bit of time. Okay, but let's get back on the other topic of the signet rings, a Bitcoin signet ring. Numbered. They'll be numbered. Okay. Maybe we'll have some kind of fancy inscription on the side with the number, the limited edition number. And we're not going to say limited edition or something tacky like that. We're going to have simply a number. It'll say like I think we'll just have like a big number 1 on ring number 1. Ring number 2 will say 2. Ring number 3 will say 3. I don't think we want to put like 001, 002, 003 like that. I think we'll just have the actual number of the ring, like in Washington D.C. Typically the mayor has license plate number 1, and then the second in command has license plate number 2. And so those low number license plates are issued to the VIPs in order of importance, right? And so I think we should do the same thing with these. I think we should have simply a number 1 on the side of my ring, because I'm going to get ring number 1, right? And then if Steve wants one, he can have ring number 2, right? And then whoever acts first can get ring number 3, right? And we'll just have them in the order that they're issued. They'll just have a number for them. Okay, so I'm going to do, hold on one second here. I'm going to check the email. Okay, here's a Grand Seiko. Wow, buy it now price of $1842. That is amazing. That is a heck of a price. Now it doesn't have the signed clasp. And that is the less expensive model. It's not as high end as the one that Brianna has. It's like one step down from that watch, but that's still a hell of a price for an 18 karat gold watch. Now let's see about the other one. Yeah, here's a Zenith. This is kind of interesting too. I like that case shape. I like it. I like it. I think it's kind of cool. With a 24-hour complication, it looks like. I like it. I think that shows a lot more imagination buying something like that than spending too much money on a steel stunner. I'd rather have the 18 karat gold stunner. Let's see what the size of this watch is. Okay, it's 36 mil, which is not terrible. That's not a terrible size for a watch like that. It probably has a nice wrist presence for a dress watch. And it is a limited edition, it claims, 395 out of 500. Good find. Good, I'm going to add it to my watch list. Good find, Lanster. 2 thumbs up on the Zenith. Okay. And Breeze channel on Kyle's iPhone. Yes. Yes. All right. We're making progress here. Let's see. I think Bree's pulling a TPG stunt. I don't think so. I sent in a pic. Okay. Try 1/25 if the full edition is 25, for instance. See, I think it'll be a little classier to just have the number, because think about it this way: with license plates, with license plates, low number license plates, it's all in the lower the number, the better, right? And so they're going to keep going. The numbers keep going up. I don't know where they cut it off. I don't know. I know that I had 4-digit license plates in Virginia. For the longest time, I'd have like 1238. I had that number for a while. I had 1239 on the limo. I had a few of those low number license plates from Virginia that were special issue from the commissioner's office down in Richmond. And the way they did it, they had 2,000 license plates that they issued, especially the commissioner. And of course, number one went to the governor and on down the list, right? And they kept track of them at the Commissioner of Motor Vehicles office, Don Johnson's office back in the day. And they kept track of those things. Donald something Johnson or whatever he was. And they actually had a folder for each of the 2,000 license plates in a filing cabinet. And there was a secretary there that actually took care of it. And they weren't even in the regular DMV computer. If you got stopped and the police officer put the tag number into the system, it came back. It said VIP use only. It said contact commissioner's office only in extreme emergency. So in other words, what the police officer was supposed to do is just let you go. And that's what they did typically. They just said, hey, slow it down next time, go about your business, right? And usually they didn't even bother to stop you because they knew it was futile, right? And so that's the way they did the low number tags in Virginia. And so they limited it to 2,000, but the tags didn't say, like if you had tag number 2, it didn't say 2/2000. It just had a 2 on there. So it was very clean, very simple. It just had a number 2, right? So I think what we'll do is we'll just have it a known thing that there are going to be no more than, let's say, 1,000 of these things. So we'll go up to 3 digits. We'll go up to 999. And we'll just say, if you can have right now, the next number that's available is number 6. And if you buy it, you get number 6. I mean, I think that's just the way we'll do it. And we'll just keep a running total of how many are out there. And Steve will keep track. And so like if something happens to your ring or something like that, and you need to have it replaced, he'll have a record that you had ring number 6, and he'll have another ring made with number 6 on it. And you can get it replaced if need be. In other words, the owner will have the rights to ring number 6 type of thing. So that's kind of how we'll do it. I think that's the best way to do it. Now, it could get tricky if somebody tries to scam the system and they try to say, well, I lost it, but they didn't really lose it, because then they could end up with 2 rings with number 6 on it. And then that could be a problem. So maybe we won't allow them to be replaced if they're lost. I have to think about that. We'll have to think about that situation. Craig, did you hustle license plates? I helped some friends of mine. I introduced some friends of mine. It was Patricia Smith was the woman down there that took care of it, was the secretary. And I did introduce some friends, and I was able to get some of them low number license plates, never any lower than what I had. They always had a higher number than what I had. Go figure, right? So, will the ring work as a symbol of power? For example, if someone inherits the ring, would they inherit wrench status? Could someone be assassinated for their ring of power? Well, I think that, yes, I think that whoever has the ring, let's say somebody has ring number 4, I think that it would be in their power to bequeath that ring to somebody else. Yes, I think they should have that power. We're going to have to hammer these details out, but these are all very good questions. Triforce Rich, very good questions. We have to hammer these out, and we have to have a clear set of guidelines before ring number 1 is produced. I don't want to be changing the rules down the road and on people, right? I mean, it needs to be transparent, fully transparent, how we're going to handle this situation. But I think the person should be able to do what they want with the ring. I think that if they have ring number 2 and at some point they want to auction it on eBay and get some money, if they're having some financial issues or something, I think they should be able to auction off ring number 2 as a collectible. I think that's fine. I think it should be their sovereign piece of property that they do with what they wish. I think it should be sovereign. 11, 22, or 33 would be great to have. Are all master numbers in numerology and very powerful energy. Okay, good points. Oh, so this is another point. Are we going to allow people to buy out of sequence? I think we should. I think if somebody wants a certain number, let's say we've sold rings 1 through 7, and for some reason somebody wants ring number 12, I think we should allow them to do that. And Kyle says, can I have ring number 0? I don't think we're going to have a ring number 0. That's another thing we need to talk about. We need to figure this out. Should there be a ring 0? Should it be a 0 and then a 1? That is a very good question. See, this is why we need to kick these things around and hammer out these details. Should there be a ring number 0? I don't think they had a license plate number 0 in Virginia or in DC. So I think we should use what they did as a guideline. I think we should start with number 1. I really do. You need to put an NFT for each ring on a blockchain. There you go. That's a thought. That's a thought, although I'm not a big altcoiner. So I'm not into the whole NFT thing. And I think it's comical that people are buying NFTs that are associated with, like, for example, the Ethereum blockchain or whatever. I mean, Ethereum isn't even going to be around, 10 years from now, right? And they think they're buying these things that are going to be permanent, forever, piece of art or whatever that they own. And so, but those other altcoin chains like Ethereum and all the others, you just pick a name out of the hat, right? None of them are going to be around in 5 or 10 years from now. And so what good is your NFT going to be, right? I mean, you're basing your NFT on a foundation of sand. It ain't going to work. I already call ring number 8 my favorite number. Triforce Rich, number 1. Okay, 8 is good, Rich. Yes, that especially in Asia, they love number 8. If we decide 0 is okay, I would like number 0. All right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll make a command decision right now that Kyle has 0 reserved and Triforce Rich has number 8 reserved. But in order to solidify that for sure, you need to send an email to Steve because he needs to start a list. He needs to start a list because he's going to be issuing them. He's going to be issuing the rings. So we need to start a list because I don't want arguments. I don't want, like a third party to come in and say, no, I had this number, I had that number. It's going to be whatever list Steve has is going to be the definitive list. And I think we all trust Steve to not play games with it. He's beyond questioning, right? I mean, so he will be the authority. And I think what we'll do is we'll make that list. I think we'll make the list public, but the buyer of the ring can decide what name he wants next to that number. If he wants a nom de plume, a fake name next to it, then fine, we'll do that. He can put whatever name he wants there on the public list. But I think there should be a list of the rings that are issued. We should be as transparent as possible without jeopardizing anybody's privacy, of course. I'm not a Kobe fan, but for sure okay. Let's see here. Better than LeBron at least. Okay. Um, Hello, Rich. You beat me to the punch for dibs, buddy. My life path number is 8, and that would have been a great one to have. Okay, well, so, okay, but I mean, Kyle's got to get his email over to Steve at littletreasury.com, Steve at littletreasury.com, and just tell him you want to reserve number 8. You want to reserve number 8. Now, I have to tell you guys, these rings are not going to be cheap. They're not going to be junk signet rings. These are going to be high-end, well done signet rings, probably in the $1,500 price range for 18 karat gold, which is not outrageous. I've looked, and I thought initially we'd be able to do it for like $500, but I looked, and the high-end ones are anywhere from $1,500 up to like $3,500. I mean, they're not cheap for the decent, real deal quality. There's some marginal ones that are significantly less, but a lot of the marginal ones aren't even 18 karat gold. A lot of them are 14 karat. And Steve said we definitely want to stick with 18 karat. So I think his price range of it's going to be very close to $1,500. I think that's actually a good deal based on my research. So yeah, they're not going to be cheap, but they're going to be pretty freaking amazing. A lifetime ring. I actually got a collectible that was number 0. It was a mistake, but what happened was they actually sold me a copy they didn't have, so they honored the sale and gave me their personal company copy. Oh, cool. How much were these rings cost? Okay, we just talked about that. And now it's possible that the ring will also be available in sterling silver, but we haven't really discussed that, in which case it would be a lot less in sterling silver, of course. But we haven't talked about that. But when we get to the point of doing it, then we'll get into those details. And I'm sure he'll have like a white gold version for somebody like Carlos who wants white gold. Yes, definitely good idea. Craig, if you bequeath the 002 to me, I promise not to sell it, not to have it serviced unnecessarily. All right, you're getting up towards the top of the list. Our Wags is in the house. Sorry, I'm late. Well, no worries. You're here, and that's what's important. Let's see. That was my second choice. 7 and 6 are very powerful choices as well. Our Wags, they're talking about what we've decided on the signet ring is to have a limited edition, and the insignia on the ring is going to be a Bitcoin insignia. And then there's going to be a number on the side of the ring as to the number of the ring. And like, for example, my ring will be number 1, and somebody else will buy a ring, it'll be number 2. So, and so on. And so each ring will have a unique number, just like reserve license plates in some jurisdictions where like the governor has number 1, the next in line has number 2, that type of thing. And so that's what we're going to do, is they're going to have a number on them. And so they're talking about what number they want. That's where we're at here. I'm holding Bitcoin and a few blue chips for the long haul, but I just made a good play on Doge right now, and of all things, LOL, simple day trade or more like gamble that works out. Yeah, I mean, if some traders come out ahead, the vast majority of them get wrecked, but some traders do come out ahead. I just don't like that stressful environment, so I just buy and hold Bitcoin. And it's been really good to me. So, yeah, for sure, Rich. I'd be happy to take 11 if the list goes live. Okay. What would be the weight in gold for the signet ring? That makes a big difference, grams. Yeah, it's going to be I don't want it to be too hefty, something similar to what I'm wearing now, because I want to go for comfort here. I don't want it unnecessarily thick and bulky, and I want it to look classy. And I think I really kind of like this size that I have on this silver ring here. And we talked earlier about why it's more comfortable on the pinky ring. And I'm going to share a picture here. Okay, if you see this picture, you notice that the gap between the pinky and the ring finger is flat. The skin there is kind of flat. Between the ring finger and the middle finger, it's a sort of a U-shaped. What I've noticed is if I wear the ring on my ring finger, when I spread my fingers across, that skin that's going between the two fingers, the edge of the ring can kind of pinch a little bit on it. And it's not terribly uncomfortable, just a little bit pinching. Whereas if I wear it on the pinky, I don't get any of that. And plus, it's only touching the ring finger on the one side, and it's not touching two fingers. And because there's more of a gap between the pinky and the ring finger than there is between the ring finger and the middle finger, is even when I put my fingers together, it's more comfortable to wear it on the pinky. So I've long story short, I've become convinced that the finger to wear this on is in fact the pinky. Is in fact the pinky. So that's what we're doing. Okay. Will the gold ring go well with the silver Tudor that Carlos owns? No. No, if he's going to get a ring, he should buy one of these. These are cheap. These are on Etsy. He should buy one of these just to go with the Tudor. And it won't be a numbered ring. It won't be what we're talking about, but it would be great to go with the Tudor. And I like it. I mean, I like this ring. This ring is well done. I'm impressed. I bought it on a flyer from this guy in the Ukraine, and I actually like the ring. I really do. I actually ordered another one. I've got another one on the way. So this one actually, you know, this is what's bizarre. This one is sized for my ring finger. See here? I can wear this on either finger, right? Now, if it gets humid and I'm outside in the humidity, it gets a little tight. This is a size 7. I should have probably ordered a 7 1/4, right? But it fits pretty good on my ring finger. But I can, no problem whatsoever, I can wear it on this finger most of the time, and it just sits there, and it's not a problem. It doesn't fall off. But I did order one. This finger is a size, I'm sorry, this is a size 9. This actually is a size 9. This finger is a size 9, the ring finger. This finger is a size 7. I ordered a 7 1/4. I ordered one a little bigger because I don't want it to fit tight. And so it's going to be interesting to see when I get the size 7 1/4 how well it fits on my pinky. It should fit perfectly. And so some of the time I will wear that one on my pinky, and some of the time if I want to be switching back and forth, I'll wear this one. So I'm going to have maximum versatility. Versatility, okay, here on the channel for things we actually wear. These aren't in a box. These are things that we actually wear here on this channel. So, are rose gold rings allowed? That is a very good question. Geez, I hate to do that. I hate to do that because I hate to encourage that sort of thing. But if somebody has a rose gold date or something and they need one of these rings numbered to match their existing watch, then yes, I think we will allow it. Under those circumstances, I think we will allow it. But I would rather they just sell the rose gold watch and get a yellow gold watch, which is what they should have gotten in the first place. Yellow gold is the way to go. See, yellow gold, always the way to go. Always the way to go. No exceptions. We should probably do something cheaper and with meaning, nothing wrong with silver or steel. Let's see if Steve can do the ring in silver, if his supplier can do the ring in silver and what the price will be, because I wouldn't mind offering that option for somebody that wears a steel watch. The silver watch goes great with the silver ring goes great with either a titanium watch like I have on now or stainless steel. This really, really worked great. I mean, maybe the solution for somebody who wants something cheaper is just buy one of these, and they won't have one of the numbered rings. We'll see. Maybe we can have our cake and eat it too. Maybe we can offer all of the above. Let's stand by for all of that. Carlos will need a silver to go with his new watch. Yes, of course. Peace out, everyone. Thanks for the great show. Jens, okay. Hey, have a good one. The 13 Joker ring should be rose gold. Okay. See ya, Jens. Okay. And we're going to wrap up here shortly. If you're going to have a Bitcoin similar ring, limit the addition to 21 million. Yeah. Maybe we should limit it to 21. Maybe it should be a very, very exclusive thing. No, I don't think so. I think we just do it like the license plates. I think we just let the numbers keep going up and up and up. And I think, though, we do limit it to 3 digits. So basically, it'll be 999. And if you count 0, then there'd be 1,000 rings. So I think that's what we should do, is just limit it to 3 digits. Yeah. Craig, if you had the opportunity to buy back your day date, would you? No, I can't. It would just be sitting in the box, and I don't buy box watches because it's not legible enough for me now, the way my eyes are and all. That's the beauty of the 002 is it's a bigger dial, and it has a lot of contrast between that white. You can't really see it in this photo. It doesn't really show up very well in this photo right here. But there's a lot of contrast between that white dial and the hands and the indices. And it's a lot easier to read than my day date was. And it's a bigger dial, significantly bigger dial than the day date style was, because there's less of a bezel and it's a bigger watch to start with, right? It's 38.5 mils versus 36. So no, I wouldn't want to go back from the this spring drive stunner. Plus, I don't want to give up the accuracy. Plus, it's more comfortable on wrist for me. That strap, I've just fallen in love with that strap on the 002. So no, I wouldn't go back. Craig, do you have any regrets in life, or did you do everything right? Oh my gosh, the regrets, the list would be so long. Yes, there's a lot of things I would have done differently. My goodness. But you got to move on. You can't dwell on, life is a series of choices, and sometimes you make the wrong choice. I mean, if everybody made the right choice every single time, I mean, good for them. But I have not been able to do that. And so you make mistakes, you take a little bit of a wrong path, and then hopefully you realize sooner rather than later and you get things straight again. But are those regrets? I mean, they're just a fact of life. So I don't know if you would call it regrets, but yeah, I mean, my gosh, I've made so many bad choices, I can't even count them. But I don't dwell on them, and I just move forward. Oh boy, maybe Chip Wong will buy one of those to match his rose gold rainbow Daytona. Titanium might be cool. Yes, it would be. I'm going to buy a new watch, Craig. I think Datejust is for me. I sold my Apple one watch to the neighbor that bought my Tudor. This was the iWatch before anyway. I sold it back. Okay, so you're going to buy a Datejust. You can't go wrong with a Datejust. Does titanium work? That sounds very comfortable. It depends on if his supplier can do. See, that's titanium is hard to work with. So I would be kind of surprised if the same supplier that we would get the gold stunner from would also do it in titanium. So I just don't know if logistically it's going to work to do it. But I can tell you this silver ring right here is extremely comfortable. I wouldn't need it any lighter weight than this. It's not that heavy. I mean, it's extremely comfortable. So I think if we had the silver option and a gold 18 karat gold option, I would think that would be enough for most people. Can you get your eyes fixed, Craig, or are they too old or lost cause? I think it's too late for me to really do LASIK and fix it. I think that when I finally need like cataracts thing done, then they kind of fix everything. But I'm going to wait until I need that done. That'll probably be a couple more years from now. And a buddy of mine that I played tennis with down in Florida, had that done when he was about 65 or so, 66 maybe. And it was amazing. He said he could literally see like he was 18 again and read. He didn't need reading glasses. He didn't need distance glasses. They basically fixed everything. Now, it took him about 2 weeks to get used to it, but it's a special way that they do it. It's extra money, and they can do it so that you don't even need reading glasses. So that's what I'll go for, and keep our fingers crossed that it will actually work. When the time comes, Craig, do you think your marriages were a mistake, or do you hold fond memories or any? No, I think that they all worked out fine. I didn't get taken to the cleaners on any of them. I, for the most part, had premarital agreements, and so I didn't really have any problem. So yeah, if you handle that situation right, it shouldn't be a big problem. And if you don't marry a total jerk, then you can have a continuing ongoing relationship with your ex. I mean, you can do that. So yeah. I would like platinum. Okay, maybe that's a thing. If anyone has done anything in life, mistakes will be made. Fact of life. Hopefully you learn from it. Yeah, there you go. Very good point. All right. On that note, my gosh, we've been going more than an hour. We've been broadcasting an hour, 21 minutes. This is a long one. So we're going to wrap it up, and thank you guys for tuning in. And do send Steve and you're not obligated to buy anything yet, right? But do send Steve an email if you want to get on the list and you want a particular number for your ring. They don't have to be sold in sequence. We already made a command decision here on the show that people can pick the number that they want as long as it's not already taken. So maximum of 3 digits. So if you wanted ring number 999, you could get it. If you wanted ring number 69, some of you all, you could get that. So, all right. How would you rank your wives? I'm not going to get into that. I still know them. All right. On that note, we're going to wrap this puppy up. Thanks for watching, everybody.